Miss Christine Wanika to pose.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. How many of you have been to an African safari before? No? Okay, when you plan for an African safari, there are many things that you need to consider. Today I'll talk about 3 important steps that you need to consider when you're planning for your African safari. Number 1, you need to decide on what kind of animals you'd like to see. And number 2, you want to find out the best time to go. And then number 3, you want to figure out what type of a safari you'd like to experience. In Kenya, there are so many national parks and different animals, and it is not possible to see all the animals in one trip. So it is very important to decide on your must-see list before you make your trip. For example, will you be interested in what we call a Big 5? A Big 5 is lions, leopards, rhino, elephant, and buffalo. If that's something that you'd be interested in, there's a place called Masai Mara in Kenya that would be able to see all the 5 if you're that lucky. I'll pass this up. Then we also have hippos and crocodiles. So if this is going to be your adventure, a place that you'd like to start with will be a place called Lake Baringo. And this, I'll pass around so you can see that. Now, if ornithology is your passion, that you'd like to know also that in Kenya we offer what we call birding safari. And this can be found in places like Lake Baringo, Lake Bogoria, and Lake Nakuru. I don't have a flyer for Lake Nakuru, but I have one for Lake Baringo where you can see various birds that you can see. By any means, these are not the only places that you can see, but this is what I happen to have with me that I'm going to use. But there are so many other choices that you can make once you have your must-see list. Okay, so you have your must-see list, and that's on the side. Your second step is you want to figure out what would be the best time to go and see what you would like to see. Generally, the best time to go is during dry season, which is from July to October, or January through March. But again, it all depends on what you pick, and whether you go on the first part of the dry season or the second part of dry season. And usually the dry season is best to go because at that time, animals are easier to find in large dens because they come to look for water, so they'll all kind of like be together, so you can see a large group of those. Once you have that on the side, you need to find out, there are many ways to experience safari in Africa, so it would be nice if you find out what kind of safari interests you. Are you looking for something luxurious? Would you be looking for something just basic? Or you want something in between? Basically, for a basic safari, what I'll call a standard safari is where you get into a 4x4 with a group of people and travel for maybe 3 to 4 hours to go to the national park. And then once you get there, you'll be received, there will be boarding and meals, and then you get what they call a game drive. Game drive are typically very early in the morning, like around 6 in the morning, and then at sunset. Because they say the animals sleep during the day, so early in the morning is when they go hunting, and in the evening. So those are the best time that you can have a very good view of the animals. So that's the basic one. Now, depending on what kind of experience you want to experience once you are there, you can either opt for something like balloon safaris. These are not for budget conscious, but it's a once in a lifetime experience. And there are several national parks that offer this, and it's something that you might want to consider. Another way that you can experience your safari will be flying. This is a quick way to get around and travel different places. And also, if you don't like this hassle of driving and sitting in a car for that long, you can just drive in. And there are also other places that have very good animals. I mean, there are a lot of them, but it's not easy to access those places by road. So flying, it will also kind of give you that opportunity of seeing more than what maybe an average person would have seen. Another one, if you're the type of person who maybe want to go to Africa and, shoot with a gun and not a camera, then you want to consider hunting safari. These are also organized, there are travel agents that will organize for that, you get a permit for that, and then you can go, and depending on how much you want to pay, you can either just pay for your hunting safari, and then whatever animals you kill, you can leave them there, or you can pay extra, and you can even come home with a trophy if you find one. You just have to pay for it, but it's an option, something that is available. And then there's another thing that I call a non-safari, non-traditional safari. This non-traditional safari is where you don't want the hassle of driving and do a game drive at 6 in the morning. Why wake up so early or in the evening? There's some places they call like treetops. It's a place where you go in and there's a big view. The room has glasses around, and then you just look around and sitting maybe in a veranda, enjoying your cold drink and just view of the animals. That's another option that you can get. And that's a place called Treetops. Now Treetops, if I may add, is a place that is very famous just because, I can't remember how many years ago, but Queen Elizabeth and Philip, when they were on their honeymoon, is when I believe the Queen Elizabeth's father died. And they were at the Treetops then. That's where the phone call came when she was 6 years old. That has been a tool that they have used for that place for all these years. And it's a very famous place. Most people like to go and just see where Queen Elizabeth was when the father died and she received the phone call and became the next queen. So, like I said, 3 things. Figure out what kind of animals you want to see, the best time to go, and what kind of experience you'd like to experience once you're there. Thank you.